Being here.
Thank you for having me.
My first question goes to Gabby, however. Gabby, what made you decide to do this?
It took a lot of different things that brought together. It was definitely, growing up, seeing the struggles that my mom, or hearing from the struggles that my mom had to go through, and my older 3 sisters and one of my 4 brothers were teen parents as well, and then just seeing the struggles and how teen pregnancy was an issue in my high school.
Alexa, I'm going to throw it to you first, this question that Gabby seems to bring up here, which is that she had obviously generational issues with teen pregnancy. Is there an especially acute problem in the Latino population?
Absolutely. It's very cultural. Even, I was just saying that my grandma has 12 children. She started when I think she was 15 or 16. And it's something that is, I think 52% of Latinas will be teen mothers.
52%, and that's way, way higher than the national average in the general population.
It is, and it's not only dangerous for the baby, but it's dangerous for the mother, because as a teen, you're still growing.
Sure.
You need those nutrients. You can't just be giving them away.
But not only that, I mean, I always tell this to teen moms, I could not have raised a guinea pig, a lizard. I couldn't as a teenager.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Now, we've been looking at footage from your Lifetime movie, The Pregnancy Project. Reminder again, it airs January 28th, 8 p.m. Did anything stick out about Gabby's story that made you really want to pick this project up?
Yeah, as an actor, you have it a lot easier on set because the director yells action and you go through emotional turmoil for 2 minutes and then they yell cut. Gabby, sweet Gabby, lived this for 6.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't a cut, there isn't a break. She lived this day in and day out. And I don't know how somebody has that kind of strength. You have to really believe in the cause that you are promoting to be able to live that kind of lifestyle.
And Gabby, so I understand, what is that cause exactly? And I think the people around you may disagree that with your commitment to the cause. You may have hurt some people with this, right? Your boyfriend's parents, your boyfriend, your siblings. There may have been people harmed by this so-called experiment, no?
There were people at first that, were kind of shocked and just in disbelief and felt deceived and lied to, but after seeing, my purpose through it and everything that I've learned through it, everybody was really understanding and just so proud of me in the end.
Kathy, I want to go to you. I set the record straight for us here a little bit. We've heard that maybe this is a Hispanic issue. Is it, and what's the nature of the problem?
Well, when I was in the classroom, the majority of my pregnant girls, not the majority of my girls were pregnant, but the majority of my students who were pregnant were minorities. But that's not saying that the minorities are having more teenage sex than the other teenagers. It's just saying that they're using less birth control. So it could be a problem of discussing it with your family. It could be that it's not in the tradition of the Latinos and the other minorities to talk about sex openly with their kids. So a lot of teenagers are having sex, but a lot of the minority parents aren't talking about sex with their teenagers. So we
and Kathy, I want to ask you, Alexa is shaking her head yes, that's true, and I agree that is true. But so I got caught in a weird situation once where I was talking to a group of Hispanic kids, and a social worker pulled me aside. And Kathy, I'm directing this to you. Gabby, you can ring in if you want. Of course, Alexa, you can too. But a social worker pulled me aside and said, be careful what you're saying here. Some of these kids are being encouraged by their parents that it's a good thing to get pregnant at 16. Are you hearing things like that?
Well, I absolutely never heard anything like that. Quite the opposite. A lot of these kids were not spoken to about sex. A lot of these kids were told not to discuss sex. That's not something we talk about. But in the Latino community, it's very traditional. So if you have a boyfriend, you want to be engaged to that boyfriend even if you're 16. If you're dating, then you want to be married. If you're living together, then you better be married before you live together. So Latinos are very strict and live by a code. So maybe that counselor meant let's not talk about these things until we're talking about marriage and engagement rings.
And Gabby, I have about 30 seconds left. Last word to you.
It's just definitely, she makes quite a bit of points just because in my family, my mom was very open with me, but she wasn't as open with her 7 other kids because she couldn't. And it was a discussion between her and her husband where it was definitely, that's something that you kind of just leave for the side until the very end, and a lot of them, you know, ended up pregnant very early. And my mom as well, where she didn't have that discussion with her mom. And so my mom wanted to give that opportunity to me.
Got a
to be
break.
really open.
Gabby, thank you.